Recently I did a video on this building in Manchester. It doesn't look much, but it's another piece of the jigsaw in Manchester's interesting and vast communications story. It belonged to a cellular company known as Talkland, who was essentially a reseller for the Vodafone mobile phone network from the mid-1980s until the late 1990s. The building was a sales showroom initially for a company called Carphones of Britain, which traded between 1983 and 1994, but at some point in the mid to late 1980s it was acquired by Talkland. Now, there's very little information on Talkland online, and there's virtually no information whatsoever on Carphones of Britain. But I've managed to uncover quite a bit of information to add to the story and fill in some of the gaps, which I thought I would share with you today. Now, it was my birthday recently, and my girlfriend, who has better skills than I do for tracking things down, managed to find me 2 Talkland phones, which I thought I would show you in this video as well. Carphones of Britain was set up in around 1983 and had a premises originally on Barlow Moor Road in Manchester, which is now a barber's. The building had a chimney stack on top, which has since been removed, but it did support antennas for the testing of Carphones in much the same way that the Talkland building still does. The workshop was in the cellar behind the front steps. Carphones of Britain didn't just deal with mobile phones, it also dealt with radio as well, and they soon outgrew the small premises on Barlow Moor Road, so moved to the Stretford site soon after. There were 2 to 3 RF engineers and an installation manager at this new site, as well as around 6 mobile installers. Now, don't forget that during this time most mobile phones were car-based, as handset technology was still in its infancy, meaning they were bulky and cumbersome to carry around. The building used to have a lattice tower on the top with various antennas on, and also a 2-metre satellite television dish on the flat roof. Nowadays there is a tower still there, albeit a different one, and this supports the modern cellular infrastructure. The Discones, however, are the original ones. The workshop was equipped with Marconi and Motorola test sets, and no expense was spared in being able to reprogram anything on the mobile phone market at that time. Carphones of Britain were BT mobile phone suppliers from day one, as soon as the analogue cellular network started up, and they used to send salespeople driving south to see how far the coverage stretched from the office. There were up to 2 dozen or so self-employed salespeople who got their own desk, a flash company car complete with mobile phone and company credit card. Carphones of Britain also had 2 comreps or community repeaters on Winter Hill, which is where the radio side of things came into play. The company also set up the Granada TV vehicles, which were based at the Liverpool Dock Studios, which were stretched Range Rovers with pump-up masts and microwave antennas. They also had a repeater at Hall Moss, which covered Liverpool to Hull, another at Bowstone Gate Farm at Disley, which is still a radio site to this day, and another at Heather Hall, which was a private house on the south side of Winter Hill. As Carphones of Britain was a Philips dealer, they had access to the full range of equipment and, more importantly, the spares. As most of the local authorities at the time were using PI equipment, they systematically approached them all and got hold of the maintenance contract and subsequent re-equipping for areas such as Stockport, Trafford, Halton, Wigan and Manchester Direct Works. By the late 1980s, Talkland took over the Stretford premises, and it's unclear what happened to Carphones of Britain. When Vodafone acquired Talkland, they kept the showroom open and rebranded it as a Vodafone retail shop. I have previously mentioned the 2 Discone antennas on the roof behind the cellular mast. These date back to the analogue network days, and more specifically Carphones of Britain, for the testing of dedicated analogue car phones once they were installed, and it's amazing that they've still survived to this day. Now, you can see the first phone I have here is clearly a Talkland branded NEC P3. Now, this was an extremely versatile and popular ETAX phone at this time. The frequencies used by ETAX could easily be listened to on an ordinary wideband scanner. This made it very easy to listen to TAX and ETAX channels, but the calls could be handed off to a channel on another cell. Enthusiasts sometimes used a modified Motorola 4500X phone connected to a PC via the parallel printer port to decode the channel hopping, or alternatively an NEC P3 phone such as this one with the Basher firmware installed. Basher firmware allowed you to scan ETAX channels and also to clone somebody else's electronic serial number or ESN over the air, and these were known as vampire phones. The second handset is a Talkland TL2 from 1993. Both of these handsets appear to be the only two, or at least the two most popular phones branded with the Talkland logo. And who knows, they may have just been sold from the old premises in Stretford many years ago.